Have you ever seen someone with a perfect magazine cover six-pack bend down to pick up a simple cardboard box, only to freeze up in pain? It happens all the time. The problem is that traditional core workouts, like sit-ups and crunches, only train your body to move in a perfectly straight line. But real life rarely happens in straight lines. Most tweaks and pulls happen during chaotic, unpredictable twisting motions that your body simply isn't prepared for. To understand why this happens, imagine your spine as the main tower of a suspension bridge. Doing hundreds of crunches is the equivalent of giving that bridge a fresh coat of paint. It looks great on the surface, but it provides zero structural support against high winds or heavy traffic. A real bridge survives a violent storm because of a network of diagonal steel cables that cross-brace the entire structure, stopping it from twisting and snapping under pressure. When you build visible abs without those internal diagonal cables, you leave your spine completely vulnerable. The moment you face real-world tension, your core loses stability, and the power you need to lift or move simply leaks away. In the human body, those steel cables are called the oblique vector. This is a diagonal line of tension that bridges the gap between your lower body and your upper body. Think of it as a physical cross-brace. When properly engaged, this diagonal tension locks your ribcage and your pelvis tightly together into one rigid, solid block. If you rely on a traditional core routine, that cross-brace doesn't exist. When you try to push against a heavy weight, that lack of diagonal support causes your form to collapse, and all your lifting power escapes straight out the sides of your torso. Mastering this diagonal tension builds a functional, highly protective shield around your spine. So how do we train these internal cables? The first method is called anti-rotation. Instead of crunching or twisting, you build real strength by actively refusing to move at all. In an anti-rotation hold, an external force tries to pull you off balance. Your job is to create intense internal tension to fight against that twisting motion and stay perfectly still. The second method is asymmetrical loading. This is simply the act of carrying a heavy weight on only one side of your body. This diagram shows what happens during an offset carry. When you hold weight on one side, the deep diagonal stabilizers on the opposite side of your torso have to fire instantly to keep your spine from tilting and collapsing. Practicing these uneven holds prepares your body for the unpredictable, awkward forces you encounter in sports, or even just carrying heavy groceries up a flight of stairs. By actively resisting a rotational pull or an uneven load, you create the dense internal bracing required to protect your back from failing under mechanical stress. Putting this into practice requires a small shift in your routine. You should integrate these oblique vector movements at the very beginning of your workout. Doing this first wakes up the connection between your brain and your muscles. It ensures those deep stabilizers are fully active and ready to support you before you ever attempt a heavy lift. This top-down chart shows how to make these exercises harder over time. Instead of just doing more reps, you increase the challenge by holding the band further away from your body, or by having a partner give the band a sudden, unexpected tug. When stepping under a heavy barbell with diagonal tension active, your entire torso feels like a solid, locked-in machine, descending and ascending with total control. Because your internal cables are holding tight, there are no energy leaks. Every ounce of force your legs generate transfers directly from the floor, through your rigid spine, and into moving the weight. By trading crunches for exercises that resist rotation, you build a core foundation focused entirely on structural support. You build a system that is genuinely unbreakable.